What famous people have side skills so large that they could be famous for that too if they wanted to be? Vanilla Ice was ranked like 6th in the world in jet ski racing. Fairly well known as is, but James Cameron seems to only direct movies to pay for his deep-sea exploration. Terry Crews is actually a really talented artist. He used to do police sketches. They sort of show it in some Brooklyn 99 episodes. Edit, it was actually courtroom sketches. Also, as people have commented below, he also plays football, is a good flautist, designs furniture, the list goes on. Man of many talents. Steve Martin, actor/comedian, but also well-known serious banjo player. Geena Davis almost made the 2000 Olympic archery team. Jeong gave up practicing medicine in California to begin acting. Peter Weller is very well known as RoboCop and Buckaroo Banzai, but is also a serious art historian with a PhD in the Italian Renaissance. J.R.R. Tolkien would have been famous in academia for his work on Beowulf regardless of his work as a novelist. Matthew Perry was a nationally ranked tennis player in Canada, top 20 in singles, top 10 in doubles. Gerald Ford was offered contracts by the Lions and the Packers to play professional football out of college. Instead, he decided to go to law school. Jimmy Carter, who had an advanced nuclear science degree, took the largest then allowable radiation dose when Admiral Rickover wanted his new nuclear Navy boys to get some hands-on experience, locking down and cleaning up the largest nuclear accident in the world in 1952. Chalk River, Ontario, was 5 of 7, Chernobyl was a 7 of 7, when the Chalk River reactor core melted down. Part of what they were doing was testing nuclear fuel for the new U.S. nuclear subs. The allowable dose was about 1,000 times higher in 52. Carter had radioactive urine for months. Carter, who wrote 32 books, was born in 24, 99 years old now. Will Ferrell was one of the most decorated kickers in California high school football. I believe he still holds the season record for field goals made at his school, and just barely missed the cut for USC as a walk-on. Had he transferred to a smaller school and stuck with kicking, he might have had a very different career. Randy Johnson, Hall of Fame baseball player. After he retired, he took his hobby of photography and started a business with it. He's photographed primarily musicians on tour, and was the official tour photographer for several major bands. Viggo Mortensen, I really thought someone else would mention him. He is fluent in English, Spanish, Danish, and French and can function in a lot of others. He paints, released 3 jazz albums, incredibly accomplished horseman, and has written a book of poetry. Still writes poetry. Has had his photography in an exhibition, surfs, often did all his own stunts, and picked up sword fighting real easy. Love this guy. Michael Crichton had an MD but decided to be a writer instead. Nick Offerman is an accomplished woodworker. Jack Johnson was world number 2 in surfing, then broke his ankle and instead became a chart-topping musician. Bryan Adams has a career as an award-winning photographer. He was asked to photograph Queen Elizabeth during her Golden Jubilee. Dolph Lundgren, of punching Sylvester Stallone so hard it hospitalized him fame, is a 4th Dan black belt with a couple of European championships, which isn't surprising. What is surprising is that he also has a master's in chemical engineering and was awarded a Fulbright scholarship to MIT, but dropped out after a couple weeks to take up acting. Jason Lee, My Name is Earl, was pro skater. Haven't seen Dolph Lundgren mentioned here yet. That man has a master's degree in chemical engineering. Aldous Hodge is an actor most famous for playing Alec Hardison in Leverage, but has also been in features like Hidden Figures and Straight Outta Compton. He's also an incredibly talented watchmaker. Gerard Way, My Chemical Romance, and wrote The Umbrella Academy. Both very famous in their own regard. Former U.S. Secretary of State Condoleezza Rice is a concert-level pianist. Moe Berg was a professional baseball catcher in the 30s and 40s. He is also a polyglot, incredibly well-read, and also one of the most important spies of WW2 for the Allies. One of the most instrumental figures in monitoring the Nazis' pursuit of the nuclear bomb, but also sabotaging their efforts. Not too long ago, Tom Hardy turned up at a jiu-jitsu tournament unexpectedly and won it. Hedy Lamarr laid the groundwork for Bluetooth. Rowan Atkinson can drive. I think he's second all-time best celebrity driver on Top Gear. He could have been a race car driver. Jennifer Tilly has won many professional poker tournaments.